All right, welcome into episode 4 of the 2022 MLB Draft Show, and I'm pretty excited about this one. Jeff, I know you're pretty excited about this one. We've
Sure,
got
man.
James Madison zone. We've got Martinsburg,
Yeah, Martinsburg.
Martinsburg, West Virginia zone. Chase DeLauter, the superstar of the Cape Cod League, and kind of a breakout draft guy from James Madison here. So, Chase, welcome to the show, man. Thanks for joining us.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. First thing I like to do, I like to have everyone kind of just kick things off with introducing who Chase DeLauter is, what you like to do off the field, what kind of a player you are on the field.
I'm Chase DeLauter, Martinsburg, West Virginia. I attend James Madison University. I would say off the field, some of my hobbies are I like to watch football. I like to hunt, fish, all that good stuff. On the field, though, I would say I always try to be like an energetic player, kind of just try to bring good energy to the field every day.
Absolutely. And I think, anybody who got to watch you in the Cape Cod League this year, that certainly shined through. I'm going to say it right from the jump. I mean, I think you were probably the player that broke out the most on the Cape Cod League. I think there was a point, it was probably an argument between you and like Zach Nato. Zach obviously got hurt. You continued to perform. I would say your batting practices were probably some of the loudest that I watched. I tell Joe about one round where I saw you in Harwich, like 6 straight hits, like left the park, pole to pole. Like, I guess my big question here is, like, how good did it feel coming out of the Cape Cod season? I know you had a great experience. You got to play Orleans, you got to play for Kelly Nicholson, legendary, Cape coach. But how did that feel? I mean, you must have left the Cape just feeling as if like you're sort of here now, right? And you're in the conversation first round, but it was a breakout performance, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And of course, it felt great, especially like kind of coming from a small town and of course not going to a Power 5 school. So I would say like my name was never really out there, before going to the Cape. And then, I just wanted to get there and like show everyone that I could play with those guys, like no matter where I'm from. So I think being able to show that and like be a role model for people in my situation is the best feeling.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, let's not take anything away. You had a pretty monstrous 2021 year at James Madison, but like you said, playing at James Madison, you don't get as many eyes on you as maybe some other schools. That's not to take anything away from obviously the player that you are, and you kind of prove that on the Cape Cod League, which kind of leads me to my next question, which would be, now that you played on the Cape and you got a 6 to 8 week season against the best players in the country, what's the one thing that you were able to take away from that summer experience that you hope can make you an even better player in 2022?
I would say, being mentally controlled throughout a season. I mean, there was a stretch or two in the Cape where I was like, 0 for probably 15 or 20 at a couple of times, but like, being able to bounce back from that mentally, I think is the most important thing, going day to day.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, that shined through. The question I had is, you're actually a two-way player. I don't think a lot of people necessarily know that. Did some work out of the Orleans bullpen this summer as well. Are you going to continue to play two ways? And I would imagine pro ball is probably going to be just straight position play. But what have you taken away as a hitter from being on the opposite side of it? I would imagine just it gives you a greater understanding of what a guy's trying to do, how things work, etc.
Honestly, it's more so just realizing how hard hitting is. Yeah. Like, I can hit the ball as hard as I possibly can, and I could line out or fly out. So, I mean, it's hard enough to catch barrels, especially with the talent that, we faced up in the Cape. But it's hard enough to catch barrels along with, them dropping for hits or going over the fence for a home run. So I think as a hitter, taking that into consideration, like more so try to do a job as hit the ball hard, not really worry about too much on like the average side of things on if they're dropping for hits or if not. Because I mean, I can't tell how many times I've had hits that I hit maybe 60 miles an hour that dropped for hits, and ones that hit over 100 that weren't hits. So I think that's probably the biggest thing.
Or balls you hit 425 feet to center field that are flyouts at Eldridge.
Flyouts.
Yeah, like I go and look at the dimensions of the Orleans Park for anybody that's watching this that is not familiar. It's wacky. It's like 310 down one pole, and then what, 436 to dead center? Is that what the number is?
I think it's 434. Yeah, 434 dead center.
You think out to dead center in batting practice?
I never did. I would shoot the gaps a little bit, and I'd get close, but I could never go dead center.
You and Locklear used to have some battles.
Yeah.
Oh
sure.
my God, those would be prodigious. Chase, I want to know, being a 6'5" center fielder, 235 pounds, left-handed hitter. Is there a guy in the league right now that you kind of have modeled your game after, or someone that you kind of respect and try to, emulate what they do on the field?
It's gonna sound like cliche, of course, but Mike Trout. He's what, 6'2", 230, 235, but I mean, he's built like a monster. Carries himself well on the field. You don't see much emotion out of him. He kind of just seems like he does everything right, and I feel like that's the kind of player I want to be.
Is that kind of like an attribute that you would characterize yourself as, just a kind of a violent, aggressive, like a monster on the field? Is that something you like to personify?
Yeah, I would like to, of course, being like a bigger guy, but I do like to play the game like full speed all the time. When I throw the ball as hard as I can. When I hit, I swing as hard as I can. So I feel like that's always helped me as a hitter, as a player, and all. So, yeah, I would say that for sure.
I mean, you did get lucky and you didn't have to face Patrick Riley while you were down because he was on your team. But you faced a lot of good arms. I could name 4 or 5 of, some of the top arms I saw you play against. Who was the toughest guy that you faced this summer?
Honestly, I don't remember his name, but it was some guy from Wareham, and he was like 95 to 97 from the right side, but he was like sidearm and had crazy arm side run. He was like a taller, lengthy guy, but I don't remember his name, but he was for sure the hardest pitcher I faced.
Was it Paul Skeens from Air Force?
No, it wasn't the starter. We did face him.
Yeah.
I can't remember who it was. It was some reliever. It was like late in the game, but I remember him distinctly on how hard that at bat was.
Yeah, I got to think about who that is, but it's not Mazer.
This is kind of a tough question, just because, I mean, physically you're one of the more imposing players on the Cape, but was there another hitter that kind of stood out for you that, I mean, maybe you appreciated their process, or you appreciated kind of what they could do to a baseball?
Tyler Locklear. Honestly, I know I play with him every day, but I mean, that dude, like, watching his BP and watching him on the field and like at bat, like when he would go up, at bat, he was the same guy every time, and I mean, that dude can mash.
Did you guys have any conversations, you and Tyler, about being, non-Power 5 conference guys, just impacting, your league as best you can?
Yeah, we talk about it for sure, especially like in the kind of like leading the league in home runs. We were like, I mean, we don't have to play at these schools like all these other guys. We can do our own thing and play with them.
And I'll just interject with more Cape Cod League story time. But like one of the last games I went to, and I saw a few rounds of BP from you guys. I had the experience to be able to be on the field where you guys were taking BP as well. But I thought it was funny because it was the last game you guys played it at Chatham, I think. And you're on the field before BP. You guys took 2 rounds. And in the 3rd round, you guys legitimately had like a home run derby. And you guys were like calling each other out. And you could see that like there was that sort of like positive, competition that you had going on and how much it drove you. And I think Tyler himself like took major strides forward throughout the season. I think I saw it with you too. So I think that was definitely something, that I keyed on and sort of picked up on. So props to you guys for obviously doing your thing. I was going to say, in terms of like opposing hitters, guys that you didn't get the opportunity to play with but played against on the Cape, was there anybody else that stuck out to you? Somebody who like just that jumped out in terms of contact?
Brooks Lee. Every time we played him, I know he went to Team USA or something kind of like early, so didn't play against him a lot. But every time we played against him, he always seemed like he hit the ball hard or put it in play. So I would say him for sure was very impressive to watch.
I got a good question for you, Chase. You had 6 home runs this season. You come back and hit 9 on the Cape. Is there a home run in your collegiate career to this point that really stands out as just kind of one you can hang your hat on?
In my collegiate career, yeah, there was one I hit against VMI here at home, and it I kind of bat flipped it like pretty hard, and it kind of went viral on like a bunch of the websites. Like I think, I can't even remember who, Baseball Bros or whatever that account is. Like they posted it. Jared Carabas like did a bat flip rating on it and all that kind of stuff. So that one for sure.
How about on the Cape? Is there one you're especially proud of?
I had to think back a little bit.
He didn't hit me in front of me. He hit one in front of me, and then he had a double that literally bounced off the top of the wall. I think it was off of Hunter Owen from Vanderbilt. It was the game where Teddy went against Pat Riley. Yeah, it was a fun game. The other thing I sort of wanted to ask you too is, in terms of goals for 2022, we're moving out of this summer. Like what does Chase DeLauter want to become? What do you want to get better at? What are the things like team-wise and individual-wise that you really want to achieve? And have you even gotten to the point of writing that stuff down yet?
I definitely have been thinking about it as we've been like getting here going. I want to be more of a leader and like role model type. I've only been in college for 2 years, and I'm like one of the younger guys. I'm still like 19 years old, going into my junior year. So being one of the like younger upperclassmen, but I want to take like more of a leadership role for this team. And we actually have a pretty good team coming back. COVID kind of like messed with us a lot last year, and obviously my first year. And I think we can be really good, but I think we as a team have to like be all in on that. So I think for me as a player, as one of the older guys on this team, I think taking a leadership role would be huge, especially for the younger guys that are really good. And then for me personally, obviously I'm gonna have the best year I can be, or best year I can have as a player. And obviously when the draft rolls around, we'll see what happens then. But up until then, I just want to be known as a guy that's like even keel and can come in every day, and you can expect like what you're getting out of me when I come to the field.
Consummate professional. I like it.
Good answer.
All right. So you'd mentioned the virus. It obviously threw a wrench into everyone's process. I noticed you were pushing minivans and doing pull-ups on tree trunks. Is that how you stayed in shape? Tell me a little bit about your workout routine, dude.
Yeah, that was when COVID kind of first hit, and like all the gyms around me closed down. And so like I was staying at my friend's house because like I have kind of like a bigger family, and my mom was like working away still. So I was just like trying to like kind of stay away from there for a little bit. And so yeah, me and my friend were like, yo, like we got to do something. And we just started like went outside one day, like chugged a bang and went out and just started pushing some cars, just doing whatever we could think of. Saw a tree, started doing pull-ups, sprints up hills, all that good stuff. So then
you're gonna get left tackle in the NFL next year.
I know. You're about to get sponsored by Eric Sims with the Drink and Bang thing, and then just started pushing
Bang
around
die,
me.
baby.
But seriously, with that sort of workout that you did in the off season, I think we all tried to adjust, what we were working on. But like, do you feel like it gave you any more explosiveness? Was there anything that you feel like you got out of it that you maybe have like adopted going forward, or something that you would pick up, or was it just a necessity kind of a thing?
Kind of like a necessity thing, but at the same time, like pushing my body to see what I can do. Mm-hmm. And like seeing how explosive I can be, like seeing how fast I can push a car, or how far. I think like pushing my body to those limits or past those limits overall helps my training in the long run. Like knowing what I can do, what my body will let me do, and all that stuff. Absolutely,
yeah. I mean, a little bit of versatility in what you're working out. I guarantee you're not pushing cars at the gym, so it's a different workout. All right, well, let's jump into a couple of these kind of sillier questions.
I got one important. I got one silly question to transition us. I have to ask. Now, you wouldn't know this, Joe. If you ever get out to Orleans, there's a gentleman by the name of Birdman who dresses up in a red bird costume. He's an interesting individual. Do you have any great Birdman stories? Other than the time that he saved a bird that went under the field at the end of the season? It was a whole other thing.
Like the very first time I saw the guy, I didn't know who he was, nothing. I just saw him. We were all getting dressed, went out to the field, took BP, came back in the clubhouse, and he was just sitting in the clubhouse in the bird costume. We were like, what is this guy doing? Like, who is this guy? And then like we figured out who he was, and now he's like, a big team supporter and everything. And it's cool having that, but like at first it was like what's
weird.
going on here? It's weird.
Like
where am I?
If you like talk to this guy for 3 seconds, man, you would totally understand the whole vibe. Like everything that Chase is laying down is 100%.
Yeah,
right. He's an odd dude.
He's different. He's different for sure.
All right, man. So to commemorate you playing with Tyler all summer, I mean, you two are definitely two of the bigger power guys, available in this next upcoming draft. I'm just gonna hit you, man. So who wins a home run derby, Chase or Tyler?
I gotta be confident in myself. I think I'm getting Tyler in a home run derby. He's got such an upward swing. He's gonna top spin a lot of balls. I feel like I can sit there and kind of go backside and get the poolside ones. But nah, I mean to be honest, I think I get him in a home run derby, but I think he hits one farther than me.
All right, who wins in a foot race?
Oh, I'm faster than Tyler.
All right, last question: who's a better cook?
Ooh.
You gonna clean sweep this kid?
No, I think Tyler's a better cook. We had dinner with his dad when he was in town up in the Cape, and Tyler seems like he knows what he's doing. He knows a little bit more than I do.
All right. Well, two out of three, not bad, Chase. But you got anything else, Jeff?
That's it, man. Appreciate having me on, Chase.
Thanks so much for doing this, man.
Appreciate
it, man. Go kill him this year in James Madison. All right.
Will do. Thank you.
All right.
See y'all.